A few years ago, I was invited to contribute to a special issue of a journal in economic history on inequality, and I thought to contribute an article on the rich, because I had just discovered about the existence of certain metrics to study the intensity of affluence across time, and I wanted to use them. And then I thought I will simply use the literature about the rich to flesh out, this dry study, only numbers, whatever. And that's when I realized that there wasn't a literature on the rich as a group defined only based on their wealth. And then I realized there was a hole in our knowledge, and I thought that this would have been a very nice topic to explore further, and this idea then developed into a large-scale project, which is the book. Inequality in history seems to have been almost always growing. So there is this long-run tendency for wealth to become ever more concentrated at the top. And the point is, only if we restrict our observation to the 20th century, we get the impression of a long phase of reduction in wealth and income inequality from the 1910s to the 1970s. So, in a sense, this tells us that having a society which is not always growing more unequal is also possible. But, it also tells us that for human societies, this requires an effort. So the problem becomes to understand why from the 1970s and then more clearly from the 1980s, inequality has started to grow again, and then to decide whether there is something that we want and can do to stop that process and maybe revert it again. So inequality is a multifaceted phenomenon, first of all. So you can look at it from the economic point of view, the social point of view, the legal point of view. And this means that people with a different background can contribute to the study of the phenomenon. A multidisciplinary formation is what basically allows you to think out of the box. And thinking out of the box is extremely important, especially in times of crisis, when you have to do with the unexpected. If you rely only on the knowledge and the approach of one single discipline, you might end up relying mostly on overly conservative ideas and approaches. And this is a danger that many disciplines have, and surely economics does have that problem today, in my view at least. And again, being aware of the fact that there are other ideas in other areas is extremely important, because they might become relevant in certain periods, and it might give us some new insights, again, especially when we are faced with the unexpected. From the point of view of impacting on the phenomenon itself, for example, contributing to alleviate and to reducing time inequality across time, also this means that people working in very different contexts can do something if they think that we should have less unequal societies, of course. Of course, well, first of all, study hard, but beyond that, don't forget about economic history, because economic history, especially in times of continuous crisis, like unfortunately the times we live through, tends to give some additional insights, right? Because the unexpected today very often is something that happened in similar ways in the past.